Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with a Monday edition of Today in Sports Betting. Happy Monday, everybody. Made it through another weekend, hopefully COVID-free, and we're going to be talking a little sports today. First up is baseball. Got the ALDS and the NLD, or just the ALDS here. NL plays tomorrow, and then we'll finish it up on the next show with a couple of football tapes. So, Scott, how are you today? You all right?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Looking forward to seeing my Yankees back in action, hopefully, and then taking on Tampa in the late game. Other than that, though, football was solid. Pretty profitable over the weekend. College football was pretty good. We finally did not tie for once in college football, which I thought we did. Apparently, you pushed on one of them, but we'll get into that for college football another time. Overall, looking forward to going through some baseball. It was kind of an odd couple of days off there, which I'm still kind of scratching my head about. But either or, it's finally over, and you have yourselves four DS matchups, and they are all four division matchups.
There you go.
So I don't know if that's weird. That seemed kind of weird to me. You have a division rivalry matchup in all four series that are left in baseball.
Yeah, it's just kind of the way that it worked out. You know, it could have worked out. It could have worked out that way under normal circumstances, but it would have been.
I just found it fascinating.
Very 2020, man.
Mm-hmm. But hopefully the series ends up being entertaining, and hopefully we make some money. So let's do it.
All right. So first up, we've got a game that's 4:07 this afternoon Eastern time. Houston Astros at the end. Oakland Athletics. And Scott, tell everybody where these games are actually going to be played.
So these games in the A's series are going to be played in Dodger Stadium.
And they will still be without fans, correct?
Yes. That's to my understanding.
All right. Now, in the National League, where will they be played?
So the National League is actually going to be played not in the home ballparks either, because that would just be too easy. They're actually going to be played in Minute Maid Park. So they ended up flip-flopping, basically. You have the AL playing in an NL ballpark, and you have the NL playing in an AL ballpark.
Very weird. And the unique part about the NLDS, they're going to be playing at down in Texas. And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to have fans.
Well, that's actually the interesting part, is that you have the Dodgers that are going to be playing in Texas. But according to ESPN, on Tuesday, you have the Braves series being played at Minute Maid Park, which is Houston's ballpark. Never mind. Which is going to be played in, Minute Maid Park, Houston's ballpark. So they're playing in different stadiums for the NL.
Right, they're going to be playing in Arlington. The Dodgers Padres are going to be playing in Arlington. And the Braves Marlins are going to be playing in Houston,
and the Yankees are playing in Petco.
Right, and the Yankees are playing in Petco, and they cannot attend. Okay, I had sworn they talked about
having fans, because they did.
Yeah.
They did. I heard that there were going to be tens of thousands, but I'm not sure if that was for the if that was for the DS or that was for the CS in the World Series.
It looks like they're going to have the fans. Okay. Yeah, I'm
Either or, you got four neutral site ballparks for these four series, and you don't have the AL playing in one ballpark and the NL playing in another. Each series is independent.
Right. Now, do you think fans make a difference? You think after playing the entire season with no fans, do you think that'll be a change of pace already for these guys?
I think it does. I think the one thing you have to wonder, though, is in the neutral sites, who would benefit the most? And I'd have to assume in neutral site, it would probably be the Yankees, just because globally, I think the Yankees have more fans than any other team in baseball.
Yeah, I would think Yankees and Dodgers. Now the Yankees, they're not going to be the AL. I know in California they're not playing in front of any fans.
Well, that is probably a good thing. So
yeah, it's only the games in Texas, which
yeah.
Oh man, don't even get me started on this thing. It's just like if we ignore it, maybe it won't exist anymore. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Scott. Enough of that. Athletics minus 130. Astros plus 120. 8 is the total. McCullers goes against Chris Bassett for the Oakland Athletics. Houston hadn't been able to hunt this team down all year. Has anything changed in this playoff?
Well, that's the one thing you have to wonder is how much does experience play a factor at this stage in the playoffs? Oakland finally exercised some demons. They finally won a playoff series for the first time in what feels like an eternity. And they had to come from behind in Game 3 against Chicago as they ended up holding on for a win there. Meanwhile, Houston has been off for a while. They swept Minnesota in a pretty, I'd say, shocking upset, I guess. I know Minnesota was a decent favorite. Great home team. Houston was awful on the road. But then you remember Minnesota entered the series losing 16 straight playoff games, and they thought that's 18 is a bigger number than 16, so they decided to lose another two to set the record. So congratulations to them. Losing 18 straight playoff games is definitely almost impossible, so I'm proud of them. But for the sake of this series, I think Houston's very live. I think that it's pretty interesting because of the fact that Oakland, who has been really good at home this season, they were roughly 500 on the road. I know that Houston was 9-23 on the road, so they were awful. But it's not like Oakland was just a phenomenal road team the entire year. They were clearly better in the Coliseum, and now they're not going to be in the Coliseum. Plus, when you have these teams that have faced each other so many times, I kind of feel like the regular season meetings go out the window, don't you think? Because you have faced this opponent so many times and you know their tendencies. I think it could.
Well, I think it certainly gives an advantage. I'm not sure where the advantage lies because the pitcher knows the hitters, but obviously the hitters knows the pitchers as well. So I guess we're going to consider both of these teams road teams for the purposes of handicapping.
That's what I'm going to do, just because they still involve traveling to this neutral ballpark and playing, and there were no fans to begin with anyway, so fans are going to play a factor.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, McCullers has been dreadful on the road, and Bassett has been fantastic. They call him as a home star, but he's pitched really well over his last three.
He's been very good. Now, Bassett also had a playoff start. He ended up starting in the first round series. McCullers did not. So I'm kind of curious if McCullers will struggle a little bit because he has not pitched in, I'd say, significantly longer amount of time than Bassett, because Bassett ended up pitching on the 30th, pitched really well, gave up no earned runs, and he helped his team get back in the series against the White Sox, which they eventually won. McCullers has not pitched since the 26th, so he has had a long layoff. I'm not sure if that's going to have a negative impact or a positive impact. Considering the fact that he had an ERA of 3.93, it looked pretty decent down the stretch. He ended up not allowing a run in 2 of his final 3 starts. However, if both those starts were against Texas, does that count? I don't know. But the question I have for you, this doesn't really count as home field advantage, but I'm just going to ask it. Do you think that Houston benefits from the ballpark more because this is the ballpark they won the World Series in? Or do you think that doesn't play a factor?
I don't really think that plays a factor.
I don't think it does either. I'm just asking because I'm trying to think of how often Oakland actually plays against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium and their track record there. Houston did win Game 7 here a couple of years ago. Of course, not the same team, etc. I'm just bringing it up. It's kind of just an interesting talking point. For me, I think for Game 1, I think Oakland does have an advantage. Maybe it's just me. I'm just not sold on this Oakland team.
Well, I know they're definitely a different team, and they played a lot differently when Chapman went out.
Yeah, I think that Oakland's still good. I kind of think the White Sox just self-destructed, especially in Game 3. I thought the White Sox might have been the more talented team. Props to Oakland for getting it done. But Houston, for me, even though, everyone knows that they're cheaters and they do this and blah, 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 at the end of the day, they've still been here. And they have a lot more experience than Oakland does. And I'm kind of curious how much of an experience factor, will lead to the winner of the series. And after the White Sox completely shrunk in the moment because of the lack of experience, it wouldn't surprise me to see Oakland potentially fold in these type of situations. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think that's certainly on the table. I think Houston is a very live dog in this series. I'm just taking a quick look. Yeah, you can, yeah, and that's the way the odds makers have it. I mean, you're only getting plus 111 if you wanted to bet the Astros on this series minus one.
Yeah, I think that for game one, though, which is what we're talking about today,
Yep.
I'm going to lean to Bassett. I think that Bassett is a very solid pitcher. Oakland's bullpens looked very good. Hendrick's been a little bit inconsistent, but he looked really good in game three, so hopefully that carries over. McCullers has been awful on the road, as we've talked about before. It's been okay this season, not great. Oakland has fared very well against Houston this season. And at the end of the day, you still have Dusty Baker as the manager. And I didn't think that Oakland's manager was pretty good in the first round either. But I think that Oakland should do enough with Bassett on the hill to win. McCullers has some good numbers against Oakland, though. He ended up going 6 innings, 1 run, 1.5 OERA. So he has looked good against Oakland in one start. But for me, I think Bass is just a better starting pitcher, so I'm going to lean to Oakland.
You know what? I'm not going to lean anywhere. I'm going to play the first 5 under 4.5.
I thought about that also.
I also like the under 8 if you want to play that. Both teams. Oakland has a very good pen. Houston's pen is okay.
Yeah, I'll go with the first 5 under also.
Yeah, both these teams have been outstanding. Bassett's given up 1 or less in his last 5 starts, while McCullers has given up 0 earned runs over his last 3. Yeah, the layoff could be a factor for McCullers as he hasn't gone since the 26th of September. So I'd probably give a small lean to Oakland in this one as well.
Yeah.
But this one to me is all about the totals. I like the first half under 4.5, and I don't even hate the under 8. So
okay.
All right, let's move on, shall we? Taking on this is the game that perhaps you're a little interested in, Scott, as the New York baseball Yankees take on the Tampa Bay Rays. 7 is your total. Yankees minus 145. Tampa Bay Rays plus 134 as a newly acquired Garrett Cole, new this season, gets the nod for New York. Kind of the reason they're paying him. How much they paying him, Scott? $35 million or so?
It's a lot.
Okay. I thought being a Yankees fan, you might know right off the hand.
The truth is that the number was so astronomical that it was kind of just jumping off the page at that point.
All right, so it's Garrett Cole going up against Blake for Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 2 very, very fine pitchers right here. Number 7. Scott, where do you get involved in this one?
Well, just to go through this, I actually had one question I wanted to ask you because of the fact that this is going to be played at Petco Park. Is Petco Park a pitcher-friendly ballpark, or are the Padres just really bad at hitting for about a decade and a half?
No, it's a pitcher's park.
I know. It was kind of just a joke question, but I find it fascinating that as soon as the Padres actually have a good team, they start scoring like 6 runs a game. I just find that pretty fascinating, and even the series against St. Louis ended up being pretty high scoring. But I know the total is currently at 7, give or take. The issue I think I have with Tampa in this spot is the fact that Snell has not eaten up many innings so far this season as part of the shortened season plan for Tampa. He's not gone longer than 6 innings in a single start this season. So if you're talking about a massive pitching showdown between Cole and Snell at 5 2/3 or 6 innings, that's going to be his cap. So you kind of have to wonder if Cole's able to go 8 and Snell's able to go 6. I'm assuming that's a huge advantage for the Yankees, in my opinion. I know Tampa's bullpen's really good, but I think that definitely plays a factor because Snell is a very, very solid starting pitcher. But if Cole's going to be able to go 2 innings longer, something like that, I think that definitely sways towards the Yankees. Looking at Snell, though, this season against the Yankees, 1-0 with a 3.38 ERA. Solid numbers, of course. Cole had some midseason struggles, but he's been phenomenal ever since. Cole was ridiculous in the game against Cleveland. 7 innings, struck out. It was either 12 or 13 guys. 13. Very good. I'm personally going to lean to the Yankees. Am I thrilled by the number? No. I just simply think that Cole is the significantly more talented pitcher. And Cole right now is in a certain groove that he was in last year. And I'm going to ride the hot hand. I know that it's at minus 140 something, which is not appealing. But the Yankees, if there's one thing that they do have a significant advantage in, it is the lineup, because they definitely woke up against Cleveland. And Tampa, even though they did win and they played really well offensively in Game 2, they're also significantly better in Tropicana, just in terms of the fact that they're very good on the road this season. But Tampa offensively has been very good at Tropicana, and on the road, they're still good. It's just a matter of, I think that the fact that it's on a neutral benefits the Yankees, because the Yankees are awful in Tropicana, and they don't have to worry about that anymore. So for me, I'm going to go with Cole. I just think he's the better starting pitcher, and the innings limit for Snell concerns me a bit in this spot.
All right.
I know you have a premium, so you can't talk about it, but
Well, I do on the side, but for this one, again, this is a very tempting total to take, and I haven't seen. I want to see. Yeah, I was hoping I could get 4 for the total for the first 5.
was it 3.5?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Even the 3.5 is juice minus 120. I am still going to play. I'm going to play the under 3.5 for the first 5 on this one at minus 120. I'll tell you that the other play that I don't hate is the Tampa Bay Rays team total over 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some value in that as well. But for the purposes of this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play that first 5 under 3.5. And the reason I don't play the under 7 is I have absolutely no faith in the Yankees bullpen.
That's fair.
You better hope Snell. You better hope that Garrett Cole goes 8 innings, because getting that pen involved any earlier than that, and it could not end well for you. So we'll see what happens there. I like this Tampa Bay Rays team. They've finally grown on me. I tend to write them off for about 2/3 of the season. They're hot. They won 6 straight. I don't know about your Yankees. Have their work cut out for them there. I have no interest in getting involved in the Yankees at minus 145. I'll tell you that. Yeah, give me the over.
You want the Tampa team total over?
I'm just gonna hold my. You know what? It's minus 145. I'm not playing that. Give me the under minus 120 for the first 3.5 for the first 5 3.5.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. It's a matter of, I know that Tampa's really good, and I get it. I also know that the Yankees are the favorites in the series because of the fact that they're the Yankees, and
They've owned the Yankees this year.
Correct. I'm well aware of that as a Yankee fan. That the Yankees have not done well against Tampa at all. The question that I have for you is that Tampa was really good on the road this season, and the Yankees were really bad on the road this season.
Yeah.
But the Yankees at Tropicana are just historically awful.
Right.
So who do you think benefits more from the neutral site aspect of it? The team with the better road record, or the team that doesn't have to actually face the favorites in their home ballpark?
That's a great question. The Tampa Bay, that park is so unique there with all the weird lighting and everything
and the BS catwalks on the roof and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think the Yankees probably have the bigger advantage not having to play at Tropicana. Although when you take them out of their little junk stadium there, they're
11 and 18 on the road. Like they're not a good road team, but I'm aware of that. But I don't know. I feel like getting out of Tropicana is just a huge advantage for the Yankees because they are so bad in Tropicana.
If you can't hit 290-foot home runs for right field, the Yankees just don't know what to do. So
now they're going to Petco, so they're gonna have to get creative with it.
Yeah, it should be a fun series. I like a good pitchers duel, especially in the postseason. A lot of drama, a lot of stuff going on. So I'll be looking forward to watching this one. Yeah. I'll play first 5 under 3.5. Scott, you're going to push the Yankees at minus 145.
I'm not thrilled about it. Can I ask what the Yankees team total is?
4.5.
And what's the over?
Plus 113.
I mean, if we're talking about juice, that's not a bad look if you don't want to lay minus 145, 143, whatever.
Right.
I mean, the Yankees, even though they have not been great on the road all season long, they did play 2 road games against Cleveland, scored at least 10 runs in each. So the offense appears to be back, which is a huge deal for the Yankees. I think Snell's a very good pitcher. Yankees have seen him a lot. I'm kind of curious if that's going to matter. I'll go with the Yankees team total over 4.5. They're going to get 9 at-bats. Am I thrilled with it? No. But in a game where it seems like every prop is minus 145, they're going to offer me a plus 113 with a team that scored at least 10 runs in each of the last 2 games and 3 of the last 4. Yeah, sure. I'll go with the Yankees team total over.
All right, good enough. There's a baseball show for you, man. I'm just thinking back to the days a couple of weeks ago. So we were doing like 16, 17 games. They'd have three sets of doubleheaders, and
now we got 2.
So
yep,
we knew it was coming pretty soon. We're going to be doing 1. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes. I think we've seen the writing on the wall. So anyway, that's our baseball show for today. A couple of insights there. Good insight from the guy who actually follows the Yankees, probably closer than 99% of America. Very big Yankees fan. So,
but yet there's about like 40% of the country that's fans of the Yankees. If you go around just globally, seems like everywhere, in every single city, there's Yankee fans, and I'm not sure how many of them actually watch the games.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying. That's one thing that we talked about before, is that the Yankees might benefit the most from fans because they have fans in pretty much every single city in America.
I think saying 40% of America likes the Yankees is something that someone who lives in New York would say.
It's a random number. I can't think of an exact number. I'm just saying I think that number is higher than other teams.
Yes, they do have more fans across it, but they also engender more hatred than any other.
Correct. Team. They're a very polarizing team. That's fair.
So. All right, my friend, we'll fire it up and we'll do the baseball thing again tomorrow. That'll be interesting to look at the National League series from down there in Texas. But until then, hey, we still got a NFL show, got a couple of NFL games tonight. So you guys make sure you click on that next video. Check us out. Let us know what you're on. Any insights that any of our listeners might have for the baseball series, we'd be happy to look at those. See what you're playing in the comment section. You never know, I might find inspiration there and make a play myself. So, and of course, going deeper dives into both of these games and all the games for that matter. Make sure you check out winnersandwhiners.com, the world's #1 site for predictive sports analysis. Check it out. You will get over there and dig it. It will become part of your regular handicapping regimen, I promise. So for myself, for Scott Rigel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners, we appreciate you stopping by today. Hope every single ticket in your pocket turns into cash money. And we'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.